All right, let's go ahead and keep rolling. And so with this, people just, again, trying to break through to people when it comes to the deception and the illusion that's going on right now. I always find it funny because I still get emails and comments and stuff saying that I have TDS, which is Trump derangement syndrome. Well, I know many people who have TDS as well, which is Trump delusion system, which is you are under the delusion of Trump actually being a good guy and being against the globalists. So if you want to fire TDS at me, I can fire TDS back at you. But unfortunately, this is part of the religion of now. Again, you know, that controversial podcast that I did a couple months ago. But the religion of now is still very much active and going on today. And it's still holding strong with people still just following a face rather than following Christ or following some type of principle when it comes to these principles and policies and everything that's happening. Excuses are still being flown around in order to cover and to I don't know, defend their favorite person, pastor, politician, or movement. And again, as I started this thing out, 2025 is the year where I think the unveiling, I believe, the unveiling is happening, and that fence is getting knocked down. We have to choose which side we're going to be on. We can't continue to make excuses for things that we know are not good. We have to stick with Jesus. We have to stick with the Bible. And in some cases, people are using these excuses to cover their own personal decision. Now, this is one that I've been seeing a lot where people voted and campaigned for Trump. They're starting to wake up and regret it a little bit, but yet they can't, because of pride or to save face, they have to make excuses, try and cover their own personal decision. It's okay to be wrong. I've been there. I'm still there. I'm wrong on many different things. If I'm wrong on something that I'm showing you guys, I will make sure that I come out and correct it. But in my own personal life, I'm always wrong. Just the way to put it. And so it's okay to be wrong. It's okay. It's not a salvation issue. Again, that's another thing that was getting flown around by pastors in the churches and stuff like that, where they're making it a salvation issue, where they're saying that if you bury your talent or you don't vote, that Christ is going to say, "Depart from me, wicked servant." It's not going to happen. Voting has absolutely nothing to do with salvation. I made this point before. I don't remember where it was at, but I specifically made the point of, if voting was attached to salvation, that anybody who was born or died before America, the United States, they're doomed. Because look at how many countries out there prior had no voting system. They're all doomed. Again, that would be works-based. It's not part of it. But yet we still have that rolling around today. How many months after the election? Kind of interesting how that works. The reality is the reality that we once knew is dead, and we are shifting into a whole new one, or a new unveiling, I guess I could say, that's looking pretty interesting. And it's looking like the last days of the last days, in my opinion, with what's going on. So I'm going to give you a few examples. I have warned about these people that just because they say the things that go along with what you like and your own personal opinion doesn't mean that they're good people to follow. Doesn't mean that they're not a part of the deception being put out there. And with this unveiling that is happening, I believe that unveiling is definitely happening with these people. So the first thing, I found this and I thought it was great, because this is really what's going on. MAGA crowd and fake libertarians at the moment. Everybody's jamming themselves through the Annex More territory. Nobody going through the current country's problems. Everybody has started moving in that direction now, where it's like, it's all about expanding the territory that we still need to fix. But the plan is not to fix it. Plan is not to fix it. And so we got that going on. We're seeing that. I'm seeing that all over the place. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, depending on where you're at. I don't know, but I'm seeing it all over the place. All the people who are anti-globalist and anti all of this stuff that's going on are now all for it and piling on for it because Trump. That's why. That is the only reason why. Here's another one. Everybody likes the documentaries that he put out and stuff like that. Made good points. I'm not saying not, but we have an unveiling of who's real and who's not. Here's Matt Walsh. You guys know Matt Walsh, right? What is a woman and all that type of stuff. Well, he put this out today. It says if we're acquiring Greenland, we should at least consider also taking Canada. North America should be ours. We could conquer Canada bloodlessly in about a week. Something to think about, folks. And then some people left some comments and he responded. Somebody said, it's fun to talk about, but how much would the purchase increase our national debt? Matt Walsh said, purchase? I'm talking about conquest. Chris Rossini, who's part of the Ron Paul group over there, says, steps towards globalism and one world government. Is that what Trump would give us? And Matt Walsh said, was it globalist when the U.S. went west and expanded to the Pacific? Acquiring new land and claiming it as our own is not globalist, it's nationalist. We have an unveiling, people. I have warned about this. I have warned about Daily Wire. No, thank you. I want nothing to do with them. I haven't for a long time. But Matt Walsh is right up there. He's showing who he is. He's showing who he is. What about Alex Jones? I mean, most people are off the Alex Jones train, but still got to show it. Yeah, Alex Jones says it's official. Elon Musk just took down the New World Order. How ridiculous can you get with this? Which I called it. I said that suing thing, shutting down InfoWars and all that stuff, that was just a giant charade. I said he'll be back up the next day and he'll be doing it in just a different name. And that's exactly what's going on. Who gave him a home? Elon Musk on Twitter. Fascinating how that works. So he declares that Elon Musk just destroyed the New World Order. Interesting. How many people know, this one might be a little bit more obscure, but I'm sure a lot of people know. Anybody know the name of DC Draino? Anybody remember that name? He's somebody that I see get passed around a lot in the prophecy community because of all the good information that he has. No, he's a paid shill as well. And it was actually Thomas Massey that came out and proved him wrong. DC Draino, he was the one that started jumping on the anti-Thomas Massey train because of, like I said, he went against the pick of Mike Johnson. Well, DC Draino was paid by Trump's camp to do all this stuff. And he says, and he replied to Thomas Massey and said, what's funny is nobody pays me to call out your hypocrisy and anti-Trump obstructionism. I do it for free. And then it goes on to prove that actually his name is Rogan O'Hanley, by the way. He has Drained the Swamp Media, was paid $164,000 to promote Amendment 3 in Florida in 2024. Now, I'm sure there's some Floridians who know Amendment 3, and that's something that they don't want at all. Thomas Massey says, nobody pays me. You personally took COOF bailout money from the taxpayers, which he did. His law firm, which has one employee himself, took a massive COOF payout, and I don't believe he ever paid it back. So he just got a big payday. And then there's another person here who's been showing the receipts. But I guess it's not good enough that I have the receipts. Not only did you get paid even more money after I posted about you taking money, but you were supporting a monopoly against over 10,000 Floridians. That would be Amendment 3. You're a liar and excrement. And so, yeah, we can see here that the Safe Florida PAC paid $59,000 to conservative influencer Rogan O'Hanley, DC Draino Company. So he is one of those people that gets passed around. I know Olive Tree Ministries has used his information as well concerning. But yeah, this dude is somebody who's paid to influence you in a certain direction. This is the Hegelian dialectic at work. It's about trying to move you in a certain direction, give you certain information, some truth, some false, in order to manipulate you and feed on your own personal bias to get you to move in a certain direction. DC Draino is one of those people. After he got proven wrong, he went and deleted his post because, well, he got outed, pretty much to say the least. Then, of course, we got Charlie Kirk, which we already showed him in Greenland with Don Jr. Now he's posting and all in full support of this. This should shock nobody. President Trump declares we will change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And now he posted a little thing of Gulf of America. Yeah, again, he's going after the conservatives and the churches and all that type of stuff. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Anybody know Benny Johnson? Yeah, Benny Johnson's another one who's been on the Trump train and getting people to move in that direction as well. Another one of those paid influencers. Well, he's also in the same thing. Welcome to the Gulf of America. And he's got the globalism map to show it, the greater American empire. They're everywhere, guys. Those are just a few. These are guys that I see passed around among conservatives and Christians and prophecy watchers and stuff like that. But these guys are built to manipulate you. They are paid to do that. That's why they're called influencers. They get paid to influence you, to change your position, to get you to move, to herd in a certain direction. This is why I constantly warn about be careful where you get your information from. Be careful where you get your information from. Here's another one. Anybody know Sarah Adams? Maybe not. I'll show you in a second. But Sarah Adams, she was a CIA targeter, part of the CIA. She came out, this was on the 3rd, and said, I don't believe the CIA is corrupt. Sounds like something the CIA would say. It's a vast organization with countless experts working tirelessly in the shadows to protect us. However, I think the Taliban is outmaneuvering them by exploiting their reliance on metrics-driven reporting. This highlights a critical failure in counterintelligence, arguably the most fundamental role of a CIA officer. Those who fall for such manipulation by terrorists, no less, need to find new jobs far removed from our intelligence community. She is out there defending the CIA, saying they're not corrupt. Remember, Trump also called for an increase in the CIA to get involved with things as well. Fascinating. Now, if you don't recognize that name, doesn't surprise me. But she appeared on somebody's podcast recently, and she made an interesting thing where she was calling out anybody who questions 9/11. Here she is from the Shawn Ryan podcast, just like a week or two ago.
Al-Qaeda found the Building 7 conspiracy stuff fascinating. And they have actually had discussions about how we could do ruses and bring in the Building 7 people to make them blame their government more. So they're actually even looking at our conspiracies and targeting those people for the Homeland attack. So basically, those people almost back Al-Qaeda as revolutionaries and rebels and heroes against our government.
Building 7 is the one that was on fire and fell down after the news reporter announced that Building 7 fell. Figure that one out. But she's saying anybody who questions 9/11 is a supporter of Al-Qaeda. Keep in mind, Al-Qaeda is a created group by the CIA and the Mossad. So she's defending that. And she's pulling it basically out of the JFK playbook, saying if you're questioning this, you're conspiracy theory and you're backing the enemy. Well, again, she was on Shawn Ryan's podcast. And Shawn Ryan also had Joe Lonsdale, who was the co-founder of Palantir, who that's connected to Peter Thiel and is helping set up Trump's pre-crime surveillance biometric system, part of the military-industrial complex. And he also claims that his other company, I can't remember the name of it, has the technology to take down these Chinese anti-gravitic drones over on the East Coast. Plus, he was the one that just had the guy on who got the email from Livelsberger, which I did all that last Saturday. If you want to dive further into that, the fact is these people, again, Shawn Ryan is an ex-Navy SEAL and an ex-CIA contractor. She is an ex-CIA targeter and stuff like that. The CIA is like the mafia, man. There's no getting out. It's once I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. You can't get out. And the fact is you have these guys who have mega platforms. Tucker Carlson's got how many million people? Joe Rogan's got how many million people? Russell Brand's got how many million people? Shawn Ryan's got like 3-point-something million people that follow him. They are using these platforms, these influencers, these podcasts in order to get people to move in a certain direction. I showed this last week. And I just want to put it out there again. The intelligence agency PSYOP, there's 2 of them. And these are real ones that they do. You got the information dump, which is flood the media with ideas, information, and trails that lead nowhere. And then the goal is to keep people occupied with both truth and lies. But I believe some of these podcast influencers are more part of the limited hangout situation where they gives a taste of the truth that is stage managed and controlled. It misdirects away from the depth of the scandal or event, withholding key information. And I believe that's what they do is somebody like Shawn Ryan, they build up a good reputation with a whole bunch of truth. And then when they need to hit it, they can flip the switch and start manipulating people because people have built up a trust. Remember the 2024 Davos meeting. What was it called? It was rebuilding trust. It's not about being obviously deceptive anymore. Now it's about how can we build trust? Well, we have these guys that we have groomed and prepared, that we've built trust up because we've given them limited Hangout information that all sounds good and is true. But when the time comes, we can flip the switch and start manipulating people to go a certain direction. And so that's what I think is at play here with these influencers and podcasters and stuff like that. They give you a whole bunch of good stuff. They build up reputation. Alex Jones was one of them. How many years was he right and right and right and right again? And then all of a sudden, now he's full-blown Trump and Elon. That one's obviously a lot more obvious. But the thing is you hang Alex Jones, you start raising up people like this. And people go, well, obviously this guy is right because he's off, Alex Jones is off the looting bin. So that's something to think about. I'm not telling you which way to go with this, but I'm just giving you, this is how this psychological stuff works. This is how this deception works, the psychological warfare, everything that's going on. Remember, your reality is dead. The sooner you can come to terms with that, the easier that you'll be able to see through this stuff. And I know a lot of people ask, well, then who do we believe? Who do we trust? Christ in the Bible. That's who we trust. That's who we believe. There's nobody else that we can trust. Don't trust me. Don't trust me. Everything that I'm saying, just go look it up, make your own decision, see if that's something that could be plausible to you. And don't ever say, well, so-and-so said. I don't ever want to hear anybody says, well, Zach said. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't want to hear it. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust any of us. We can only trust Christ and his word. That's it. That's all we got. And that's more than enough. We just need to be able to see through the garbage, see through what is really deceiving us, and then just leave things open. We don't have to keep closing things and planting flags. We can leave things open and just watch and see what happens. Again, we're called to be watchmen, to watch. Doesn't mean we need to start planting flags and trying to convince people. No, we just watch and mourn. That's what we're called to do. And then what does Ezekiel 38 or 37 also, or 33 also say? My bad. Ezekiel 33 also say, it's up to the person that you have warned what they choose to do. We're not here to force people into a certain direction. We're just here to tell people, hey, careful of this. Watch out for this. The only thing you got is the word of God. Just keep that in mind. I think that's the thing that we need to do. Because I know, again, I got a lot of people saying, well, who do we trust? Jesus. And that's not a cop-out answer. That's just fact. That's where we're at.